The Lion is now unleashed in the southern parts of the Imperium, and this video is dedicated to some of his greatest campaigns, bringing retribution against the traitors that dared turn their back on the Emperor and the Imperial dream. For me, most of this is new lore, and I absolutely loved reading it. So let's jump in and let's talk about the Lion and his retribution. The opening text states, "The Primarch Lion L. Johnson and the First Legion embark upon a punitive campaign of extermination across the southern galaxy. Weapons from the dark ages of Old Night are unleashed as the Dark Angels vent their legion's fury upon traitor strongholds upon world after world, leaving behind them a trail of blackened dead planets. This systematic annihilation of worlds rich in resources deprives the War Master of precious materials needed to maintain a lengthy siege at Terra, and he is forced to hasten his planned invasion of the Sol System. The traitors' sundered armies fleeing before the Lion's wrath rally around the planet of Barbarus, homeworld of the Death Guard Legion. There, Mortarian's indomitable sons intend to halt the Lion's crusade of vengeance and see the threat posed by those dreaded warriors ended and buried in the mud of their grim world." We start with the Lion's Wrath Unleashed, 011.M31. The world of Davin is destroyed in the first act of the Dark Angel's judgment upon the traitors. The ruin storm begins to dissipate, allowing the Dark Angels to embark on a crusade of extermination against traitor worlds across the vast reaches of the Imperium's southern segmenta. At the Lion's direct command, long forbidden weapons from the earliest days of the Great Crusade are loosed upon those who turned from the Emperor. Burning whole worlds from existence, the Dark Angels' crusade of extermination is designed both to punish the traitors and destroy their military assets in each region, preventing the creation of a second front unified against Terra. The Death of Chemos, 012.M31. Chemos, the homeworld of the Third Legion, comes under direct attack by the Dark Angels. The Dark Angels' vast armada smashes through the Emperor's Children's system defense fleet, leaving behind them only the smouldering wrecks of venerable Third Legion warships and frozen corpses floating in the darkness of the void. The invasion that follows sees the Dreadwing deployed to the surface of Chemos en masse to engage the Third Legion garrison and plant devices of immense potency in key locations on the planet. The Emperor's children, though vastly outnumbered, fight fiercely in defense of their homeworld and inflict heavy casualties upon the invaders. But ultimately, it is a futile effort. The Dreadwing proves merciless in its prosecution of attacks on strategic targets and scours enemy strongholds of all life using weapons born of humanity's darkest nightmares. With their objective completed, the Dark Angels return to their fleet in orbit and remotely detonate the macro charges. A chain of catastrophic explosions racks Chemos and splits the tectonic plates apart, creating kilometers deep canyons that swallows the planet's glittering metropolises into cavernous depths. At the height of this cataclysm, the Dark Angels' fleet begins its audible bombardment of Chemos, launching a spread of cyclonic torpedoes at predetermined weak spots across the world's surface, each strike piercing the weakened crust and detonating within Chemos' core. The once proud homeworld of the Third Legion breaks apart, sending colossal slabs of planetary debris tumbling through space. the Chemos system is declared dead, and warning beacons promising swift retribution upon trespassers are placed around the system boundaries before the Dark Angels depart to continue their crusade of vengeance. The fall of Luft Tier 012.M31. The First Legion fleets reach Luft Tier, a key mustering world for the traitors sitting upon one of the most stable warp routes in the Southern Imperium. The Lion can ill afford the obliteration of such a valuable prize and orders his Knight Praetors to deploy their orders and capture the world in the name of Terra. The Dark Angels make planetfall in a wake of orbital bombardments so intense that it fuses the planet's rolling white deserts to plains of jagged glass and sets the upper layers of the atmosphere ablaze. Luft Tier is garrisoned by the Iron Warriors and Death Guard. They mount a valiant resistance against overwhelming enemy numbers, but one by one their strongholds are blasted to rubble and utterly destroyed by the First Legion. Isolated Iron Warrior forces mount desperate last stands among the ruins of shattered fortresses and broken refineries across the world. During the fighting, a combined Death Guard, Iron Warrior and Traitor Mechanicum force mounts a daring attempt to reach Luft Tier's spaceport that is located at the planet's southern pole. They fight their way through mass loyalist forces and packs of raging ambuls in a desperate bid to reach the spaceport's warp-capable craft, which they use to escape into the void, leaving Luft Tier firmly under Imperial control. The Deliverance Conjunction 013.M31. The vast fleet of the First Legion reaches the moon of Deliverance in the Caviar system. There, in the fortress of the 19th Legion, the Lion meets with his brother Primarchs, Corvus Corax and Leman Russ. The Lion is quick to question Corax's absence from all the major fronts of the war since Isfahan, but his ire is put to rest by Leman Russ, who points out the survival of his own legion as proof of the Raven Lord's continuous loyalty to the Emperor. Fully recovered from the wounds he suffered in the Traitors system, Leman Russ declares that he and all of his 6th Legion warriors on Deliverance will join the Dark Angels in their crusade of obliteration. To appease the Lion's call to arms, and knowing well the fate that befalls those who do not demonstrate loyalty as the first Primarch expects it, Corax offers vast quantities of munitions and supplies from the Forge Fanes of Caviar to the Dark Angels and the Space Wolves, including thousands of newly created suits of Mark VI Corvus pattern power armor. Hesitant to commit any significant portion of his depleted legion to what he sees as an undertaking of excessive violence and needless waste, Corax assigns only a small expeditionary force of his Raven Guard to accompany the Dark Angels in the next stages of their campaign. Few in number, but bearing the experience of 1,000 battlefields between them, the Raven Guard depart Deliverance with orders to eliminate key enemy targets ahead of the Lion's onslaught in order to save entire worlds from complete annihilation. The Ghost of Zio Akkad 013.M31. Ambitious to carry the momentum of their Primarch's campaign forward, a contingent of the First Legion reaches the Forge World of Zio Akkad in the galactic southwest and proceeds to make planetfall at its principal Forge Fanes. The Dark Angels exit their drop pods and orbital assault transports to encounter warriors clad in crimson armor belonging to the Thousand Sons. Previously thought to have been destroyed at the hands of Leman Russ and his legion, emerging from the Psi mist obscuring the Forge Fanes, the Thousand Sons do not open fire on the Dark Angels. Instead, they proclaim loyalty to the Emperor and offer to parley. Under orders from the Lion himself to subjugate the traitor Forge World and believing the Prosperine warlocks to be lying, the Dark Angels begin offensive operations across their landing sites. Determined to not allow Zako Akkad to suffer the same fate as their devastated homeworld, Prospero, the Thousand Sons unleash their psychic might and seamlessly endless tide of battle automata against the invaders, inflicting severe losses on the Dark Angels. The First Legion forces launch 3 successive counter-assaults in order to push the enemy out of the ever-shrinking landing sites established by the Dark Angels. Each fails to achieve its goals. Hundreds of loyalist lives are lost when Titans from Legio Exterbax intervene to put an end to the ill-fated invasion. The remaining Dark Angels hastily withdraw to their fleet and enforce an orbital blockade of Zaro Akkad, awaiting further orders from the Lion. The Siege of Barbarus begins. 013.M31. A vast loyalist armada breaks from warp into the Barbarus system, spearheaded by Lionel Johnson's Gloriana-class flagship, the Invincible Reason. Alongside the fleets of the 1st Legion of Dark Angels sail the warships of the 19th Legion of the Raven Guard and the 6th Legion of the Space Wolves, led by their Primarch Leman Russ. The Loyalist Armada smashes through the scant remaining Death Guard ships that stand in defense of their homeworld to obliterate the inner system defense platforms and orbital stations and at last reach Barbarus' orbit. Swarms of Death Guard Stormbirds and Thunderhawks rise from the planet's surface to mount a futile attack runs in a desperate bid to give their brothers on the ground time to prepare for the coming invasion. But they are swiftly shot down by mass formations of interceptor craft launched from the bays of the Raven Guard cruisers. Sheltering behind multiple layers of void shield defences, the Death Guard and their allies look up as the pale sun of Barbarus is eclipsed by scores of falling drop pods and swarms of orbital landing craft that bring the wrath of 2 Primarchs and warriors from 3 loyalist legions to the service of Barbarus itself. And that's all we have. That's where it ends. I'm sure we're going to be getting a campaign around the Siege of Barbarus. I, for one, cannot wait to see what the Lion does. Hopefully he steps foot on the ground and he starts to kick some Death Guard ass, along with his brother Leman Russ, and of course along with the Raven Guard. I want to say thank you for watching this video, if you're still with me at the end. If you've got any thoughts, feedback, anything like that that we've spoken about so far in this video, post it down below and we can have a nice little talk down there as we always do. See you now, have a great day, and bye-bye.